Hello everybody and welcome to another week of Makers Monday. I am Anastasia Radloff, aka Stampin' Blondie, and I am bringing you today my 8th annual Stuff Your Stocking Facebook Live. Now, I hope you all had an amazing weekend and your holiday season is starting off just right. Today, I'm going to be showing you 3 different projects that are small and simple for you to be able to gift to others in their stockings. Excuse me. Now let me just make sure that I am live here on Facebook. I'm also live over on YouTube as well. So if you're watching, make sure to comment, say hi, let me know that you're watching. Okay, looks like I am live here on YouTube and on Facebook, so I am excited to get started here today. Now, Stuff Your Stocking. Like I said, this is my 8th time that I have hosted Stuff Your Stocking. I love Stuff Your Stocking. It's always my favorite holiday themed Facebook Live that I do every year. It is always little 3D projects like boxes or treat bags, something simple that you can gift to somebody else to either put in their stocking or to be able to gift to somebody else just as a little holiday present there as well. Hello, Mom. Hello. Thank you for watching. Hello, Susan in Scotland. I hope you are having a great holiday season as well. I've got my Santa hat and my wreath earrings here. I'm all ready to get started with Stuff Your Stocking. I do have a quick announcement before we begin, so let's go ahead and swap the camera and get started here today. Now, kicking off in January, can you believe that this is only like 3 weeks away maybe? The annual celebration event and the January to April mini catalog. So if you are not working with a current demonstrator and you haven't placed an order or attended a class with me in the last 6 months, you can request a copy of your free catalog. There's a link in the description of this video here today. Just go on there, enter your information, and I will send you a catalog. I have the catalog, so I'll be working on those over Christmas break. Celebration is, like I said, Stampin' Up's annual sale that they have every year. It is January to February, and for every $60 that you spend, you get to choose an item out of the Celebration catalog. Now, I can't show you the inside of the 2 catalogs just yet, but like I said, I have copies in hand, so if you have not placed an order with me, attended an event, and you're not working with another current demonstrator, there's a link in the description of this video and I will send you a free copy. Now, as always, I'll be doing my paper share for the new catalog. So details on all of that stuff will be coming out over the next few weeks. So keep an eye out for that. Again, I can't show you the inside of the mini catalog, but I got my box of goodies over here. So there's some really fun stuff coming. And usually they have some stuff on the back, but this time they don't. So January 7th is when the new catalog kicks off. And if you want a copy of the catalog and you aren't working with a demonstrator, feel free to click the link in the description of this video and I will send you these in the mail. Let me just move this out of the way because I need to grab, I'm going to need my scoreboard today. And I had my paper trimmer on it. Hello, Kathy Robinson. I miss you guys so much too in Tucson. Hello, Margaret and Kathy. Thank you all guys for watching today. Okay, Stuff Your Stocking. So like I mentioned, 8th annual Facebook Live that I always do. So what exactly is Stuff Your Stocking? Today we're going to be creating 3 little projects that are easy to put in anybody's stocking. We have a little mini treat bag. This holds 2 of the Reese's trees, which I feel like the Reese's peanut butter cups always taste better when they're in a shape. Whether it be a Christmas tree, an Easter egg, or the Halloween bats, I feel like those always taste better than the little little mini peanut butter cups. So you can fit 2 of those in there. Now this is a little box to hold a piece of Ghirardelli chocolate. So you can see, and I'll show you how it opens and everything when we get to that project. And then this, you can see in there, is a fun little chapstick holder. So just to kind of zhuzh up how you gift these little items, we all like to get chocolates and chapsticks and those kind of things in our stockings, but this is just kind of a way to personalize those items and make them a little more fun. Or if you're going to like a gift exchange, you can just, you know, kind of put this on a gift, something very quick and easy to put together. All right, we are gonna start today with this little mini bag. Now, like I mentioned, this has, it holds these little Reese's trees. So I got these at Walgreens. They're the little tiny ones. They're snack size. The big individual ones, you could probably fit 1 of those trees in here. This is a really tiny bag. It's probably like 3, let's see how many, 3 or 3.5 inches long, 4 inches. It is 3 3/4. I was right in between. So 3 3/4. These little bags are from the online exclusives. They come in 2 different sizes, and this is the small size bag. So I'm going to show you what you need for this, and we're going to kind of step up the bag too. It's not just a plain bag. You have to, you know, personalize it a little bit. So this is how they come, just plain little gift bag, easy to decorate. You can stamp this, ink it, but we are going to emboss it and ink it up. So what we're gonna do first is I like to take the bag, because we're gonna run it through the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And if you run it through just flat like this, right where this ridge is here, on this side where we're gonna decorate, you'll get a line on your bag. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna fold that back and just kind of use our bone folder here to lay the bag flat down. So now when you run it through the machine, you're gonna get just a little bit of, because you can see it's popped open. So where that crease is right there, you may get a little bit of a line, but we're gonna cover that up with a piece of designer series paper. So let's bring in our embossing folder. Today I'm going to be using the Birchwood embossing folder. Look at how big this thing is. This is a giant embossing folder. I love it because you can emboss more than one thing at a time, and when you're doing multiple projects like this, you could easily fit 2 of them into this embossing folder. But for that, you're going to need the big machine. So you can't use the small one, you have to use the big one. And we're gonna need our base plate 1 and number 4. And so we're gonna run this through our embossing folder. The folder has this black line at the bottom. I like to stick the bag right against that black line so that when I run it through, I know that it's going to be straight. Always put your folders in hinge first. So we're gonna run this through, and it is tight because this bag is thicker. So we're gonna run that through and then run it back again. And let's see what we got. So we've got a little bit at the bottom, isn't gonna get embossed, but that's okay because we're gonna cover most of that up with our designer series paper. So we're going to do this. And you know what? I forgot before, let me go back here because I forgot to do Prize Patrol. So 2 weeks ago, I didn't do Makers Monday last week. I had COVID this week. Can you believe that? It's crazy. I'm feeling much better. I have no symptoms anymore, really, at all. I just had a stuffy nose, and I went to urgent care because 3 weeks ago I was sick, and so I was like, I can't do this again. So I went to urgent care, and they said I had COVID, but who knows? So last week we didn't have Makers Money. So 2 weeks ago, the Prize Patrol was the Iridescent Rhinestone Basic Jewels. and the Balmy Blue Sparkle Ribbon. And the winner is watching because I saw her name pop up. Margaret Duncan, congratulations. You are a Prize Patrol winner from 2 weeks ago. This week's Prize Patrol is one of my favorite stamp sets from the September through December mini catalog. It is the Warms My Heart stamp set. Cling mount stamp set, your traditional red rubber. 8 stamps, 4 sentiments, 4 images that coordinate with each other. And so this is our Prize Patrol for this week. All you have to do is share this video, comment that you shared, and you'll be entered into Prize Patrol. So I forgot to do that earlier, but that is our Prize Patrol this week. Okay, so we embossed our little mini bag. You can see here, if I turn it this way, you can see it a lot easier here. And let me grab my hole punch right there. You can see my little Christmas tree in the background. Let me move out of the way. There's my little Christmas tree. My house here in Rhode Island isn't big enough for our regular Christmas tree. We don't have any space to move furniture and put it. So my husband bought me a little mini live Christmas tree. I haven't had a live Christmas tree in ages, and so I just put all of our like super special ornaments on it, and then when we move next summer, I don't have to move another tree. So yeah, we just have our little mini tree over there, and then the fireplace that we're not allowed to use is next to it. Okay, we are going to take our little gift bag, like I said, and we're going to kind of step this up a little bit. So we've already embossed it with the Birch embossing folder. Now we're going to take our old olive ink pad and a blending brush, and we're just going to ink this up just to kind of get that birch to pop a little bit more. And so it's not such a stark white bag. I love white gift bags for certain occasions, but sometimes you just gotta have a little bit of color on there. So we're just adding our blending brush and just rubbing it back and forth. Most of the time you do a circle on your projects, but this time I'm just doing it back and forth because I just want a little bit of color on those raised sections. So there is our bag, just a light old olive color on there. Okay. Now before we pop this open, we're gonna take our hole punch. This is just a normal sized hole punch. You can get at any, you know, I think Walmart has them. Just regular hole punches. Most of us kind of have one of these laying around in our junk drawer. But we're just gonna punch 2 holes in the top of that. And now we can open up the bag and let it stand up. Now these bags are great. You can fill them with a lot more candy than just 2 of these little Christmas trees. But I want some for later for myself. So I'm gonna put 2 of them in here. And then I'm gonna take my ribbon. I'm using on this one, this is the 3/8 inch white frayed grosgrain ribbon. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna thread it through here first, and then I'm gonna cut it. It's really easy, this hole punch, because it's a larger size hole. It's really easy to thread the ribbon through, and then we can cut it to what size we want. So I'm gonna take about that much and thread it through again on this side. And I want to make sure that the back of the ribbon here is flat. So we've got that flat there. And then these are even. You don't want to pull too tight. You're going to rip the bag if you do. So just be really gentle with it. And we're going to tie this into a bow. Now you can leave this open if you want, add a little tissue paper if you don't have a hole punch, and make like a little gift bag. But this is nice because then you don't have to worry about the candy falling out, and it can be kind of a little surprise as well. Now the best part about these bags is that you could also tuck in a little bit of a gift card as well. So you could put candy, gift card, and this could be your whole gift that you give right here instead of just a stocking stuffer. Now I have a piece of designer series paper. This is the, I think it's Simply Elegant, and it's gonna go right where that little crease was showing on our bag. So then you can't even see what it looks like. Now, I like to use liquid glue for this part just because it helps with the embossing, really, to get in those grooves of the embossed piece of paper there. And for my sentiment, I've already pre-die cut a piece of basic white cardstock using the Perennial Postage dies. And we're gonna I'm using the Sentimental Wishes stamp set. I have done quite a few of things with this stamp set for Makers Mondays, so you can always go back and watch what I've done with this. But I'm gonna use the stamp that says, "Have a very Merry Christmas," and I'm gonna do this in Cherry Cobbler. I chose Cherry Cobbler because I want it to offset from the green, and it's gonna go right there in the middle. And we're also going to, you can see here, I did a little bit of a splatter on the background of that piece. So I'm gonna bring in my grid paper and my Light Mossy Meadow Stampin' Blend, and I'm gonna take the brush tip and we're just gonna do a little bit of flicking onto that paper. So then you have that easy kind of splatter technique. Now, if you make this bag, I highly suggest you do your sentiment in red and the splatter in green, unless you're trying to make a Halloween looking bag where you have splatter in red. This is Christmas, not Halloween, so we're doing our splatter in green. But we're gonna add our sentiment on with some Stampin' Dimensionals. And that is gonna go right here. It's gonna kind of off of our designer series paper, and it'll be on the bag as well. And then as a final touch, you can't have Christmas projects without a little bling. I'm gonna be using the metallic gems on this one. The metallic gems have 3 different colors. You have regular gold, rose gold, and silver. And we're gonna take the large gem and put it in the lower left, and then 2 of the smaller gold ones, and we're gonna place those in the upper right of our sentiment. And there is our first project featuring the little treat bags for Stuff Your Stocking. So like I said, these are available on the website already. They're, like I said, 2 different sizes, and this is the small size bag. Fits a gift card and candy or whatever you want to put inside, but that is our first project today. Now, before I move on to my second project, I want to share with you guys a little project that I created. So I like to try turning things that I find around the house into different projects. And I've shown you before how I've taken like an embroidery hoop and I've decorated the inside with paper. Kind of along the same concept, but I took a mason jar top, a 2 3/8 inch circle punch, and then some designer series paper and a sentiment, and I made a little ornament that you can hang from a Christmas tree. So this is another great project for kind of a stocking if you want to gift this as well. If you do any kind of ornament exchanges, excuse me, ornament exchanges that are big around this time of year. So this is a really fun way to kind of repurpose and reuse something that you may have in your house. Now here's the back side. The back side's not as beautiful, but you can add a piece of paper over top of that to cover that back side. But just I thread the ribbon through the ring and just added a little bow on top. So that is a fun little ornament that you can create with just a mason jar ring on top there. So very fun, easy to create, little recycle, regift kind of project. Okay, our next project we're gonna create is this fun little box. Now I showed you, or I mentioned earlier, I would show you how this opens, so I will do that now. It ties on the left side and then it opens and you have a little piece of Ghirardelli chocolate. So I created a template for this, so I didn't do any of our PDFs this week. because these are all, I'm going to share all of the details on measurements during this video, so you can always reference the video. So to create this little box, you need a piece of cardstock that's 8 inches by 5.5. And I'll do all the scoring and everything here for you. But this is gonna be my little guide, my template, so that I can follow along on how to create this. So here's my piece of cardstock, 8 by 5.5. So from one sheet of cardstock, you can get 2 of these boxes. A great way to use up some bigger scraps that you may have too. Okay, on the 8-inch side here, we are gonna use our scoreboard and we're gonna score at 1.5, 2 1/4, 4 3/4, and 5.5. Okay, now we're gonna flip our paper, and on the 5.5, or the 5 side, 5.5. Did I cut this wrong? 8, 5. You know what? I cut this wrong. We're gonna oh, good thing I caught it. Let me grab another piece of cardstock here, because it needs to be 8 by 5.5, not 8 by 5. That's weird. Okay, so we're gonna start from scratch all the way. So 5.5. You can still get 2 from your cardstock. So here's that. And then 8. So just take a 1/2 inch off the side. All right, we can use this cardstock for something else later. Okay, on the 8-inch side, we're gonna score at 1.5, 2 1/4, 4 3/4, 4 3/4, and 5.5. And on the 5.5 side, because I got it right now this time, we're gonna score at 3/4, 1.5, 4, and 4 3/4. Okay, so now you're gonna have, it's kind of hard to see with all the little score lines, but that's that. So I'm gonna leave this little template up so you can see. Now I like to use my bone folder and score all the lines. Yeah, craft happens. We all have measured paper wrong one time in our life before. So I'm just gonna burnish all the lines. I like to do this before cutting anything. I feel like it helps me cut the little tabs out a little bit easier when I can see exactly where it's gonna be folding. So I'm just folding all of my score lines in. And there is that. Okay, so we have one side. So this side here has like a smaller tab. We have a smaller tab, a little, and then large, small, large, so you can see. But this side over here is different than these two sizes here. We are gonna take our scissors and we're gonna cut this whole tab off at the bottom. And this is why I like to have a guide, because then I know exactly where to cut as well. And we're gonna cut this little square that's right here. So we're gonna cut that little square off. Okay, and we're gonna do the same thing on this side. We're gonna cut these 2 squares. And if you decide to make these, you can always come back to this video later and pause and work along with me. So you can just watch now, and then when you're ready to make the box, then you can come back and work at your own pace as well. Now, these are gonna be tabs for our box. So I'm just gonna cut up to that next score line. I'm not gonna cut the whole thing off, just so we create little tabs. Now on this side, I'm gonna flip it over. On this side, I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna cut the 2 squares. There. And the 2 squares here. And then we're gonna cut just kind of the same thing that we did on the other side. This one little square we're gonna cut off, and then that top little square is gonna be our tab. So here's that. And then cut up to that first score line, and that's our tab. So here is our box so far. Now I like to take, so there you can see my two pieces are the same. I like to take these squared tabs and I like to cut a little angle onto them. I feel like it makes it a little bit easier to kind of tuck everything together when the tabs are just a little bit smaller than what you're gluing it to. It helps everything kind of lay flat a little bit better. We're also going to do the same thing to this little piece right here. So we're just gonna cut little notches in there to create a little piece. Like I said, just helps it to lay flat a little bit better. There's no certain, they don't have to be done at a certain angle. Just cut a little bit off each one. And same thing on this top piece here. Here we go. And we're gonna clean all that up and get that out of the way. All right, we're gonna flip this over. And one of the things that I like to use when I assemble boxes is tear and tape. This is really easy to use to put together boxes. You don't have to worry about any kind of messy glue or anything, and it's very simple to be able to stick it together, and it holds really, really tight. So on, like this is, like I said, this is the back side of our box. We're gonna add little pieces of tear and tape to those tabs that we cut little notches in. Just the 4 little ones here. There we go, and the last one there. Okay, now I found that using your take your pick tool with the pointy end helps to get the tear and tape adhesive off really easily. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take 2 of the adhesive strips off, and we're gonna fold this tab in and adhere that to this side here. And we're gonna fold that tab in and there. So you can see our box is already taking shape, and we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. Once you have it all cut out, it's really easy to see how everything just kind of tucks together. And there. And then this last one will tuck inside here. There we go. And then the last one. And then you'll just want to press it firm to kind of get the fibers to stick together. So here you can see we have this little bit. Now these 2 tabs, we're gonna add tear and tape to the inside, and they're just gonna fold down and tuck inside. So we've got tear and tape. That will go on the inside of this flap, and then same thing on this side. And again, our take your pick tool to lift up our adhesive strip, and that will just tuck in, and that's gonna hold those tabs together as well. So it makes the box a little bit more sturdy. And there, tuck that in right there. So one flap is gonna be smaller than the other, and that is to ensure that we have the front to be able to decorate. So on here, where's my, here we go. We need, I wrote it all down, you need designer series paper. So we've got, let me pour it all out here and I'll let you know the measurement sizes too. So you have 2 pieces that are 2 1/4 by 2 1/4, and that's gonna go on the top and the inside and the top of our box. So when you open it, you have designer series paper on both sides. All right, now you're gonna need 2 pieces of designer series paper, 1 1/4 by 2 1/4, and that's for this flap on the inside and the outside. And then you'll need 4 pieces of designer series paper, 1/2 inch by 2 1/4, and that's for the outside of the box. So we've got all of that cut and we can assemble that now. Now I like to use liquid glue for this part just because I want to make sure that everything is lined up exactly where I want it. And because I don't need it as strong of a hold as the box, I don't need to use tear and tape for this. So we're gonna glue on our first piece. This is the 2 1/4 by 2 1/4. And oh, cute, thanks. My little notepad that has a little dachshund cut out on it. I have everything dachshunds. They're so cute. Even my little holder for my cords is dachshund there. Okay, so we've got the outside flap done. Now this other flap, this is the 1 1/4 by 2 1/4. There we go. And then this same thing. Now you could switch it up on the inside, have different designer series paper than the outside, so when they open it, it looks different, but I figured this is really beautiful paper, and once you open it up, it's really pretty on the inside too. So I wanted to keep the whole thing the same. Now these little bits, the 1/2 inch by 2 1/4, these are gonna go around the outside. So you have a little decorated box all the way around. Great way to use scraps of designer series paper. We have little bits here and there that we may not know what to do with. This is the perfect opportunity to get rid of some of those that you may have in your stash. And there. And then our last one on this side right here. There we go. Okay. So we're gonna decorate the outside. I have a piece of old olive cardstock that I've die cut with the Spotlight on Nature dies. And then this is from the Reindeer Fun designer series paper. I just cut that out. Now I'm gonna fussy cut this. There are dies to go along with this, but I don't wanna have to use my machine again. So we're just gonna hand cut it out. And you guys can tell me what you are doing for Christmas. My husband and I, this weekend, we will be traveling to New York City. We are gonna see Trans-Siberian Orchestra. I'm so excited about that. We're also gonna see the Rockettes. My #1 bucket list item when we found out we were moving to Rhode Island was to see the Rockettes. I've wanted to see them for a really long time, and the last time we were in New York City was 2 years ago in September, and they only perform at Christmas. So of course in September they aren't performing, and so I said I want to go see the Rockettes. That's the only one, like the main thing I want to do when we live here. So we are going to take the Amtrak. It's about 3.5 hour ride, so it's not bad at all. And we're gonna go, you know, see all the Christmas sights in New York City and all the window displays and the Rockefeller Center tree and all that stuff. But that is our Christmas plans. Okay, I've got my reindeer cut out here, and we're gonna add this on with dimensionals. And that'll just go right in the middle here. And then on the box, we're gonna add this on with dimensionals as well. Now, I'm only gonna put dimensionals on the top and bottom because we're gonna thread our ribbon underneath this on the top of the box. So this will go on the top flat here. And of course, before I close it, I need to add a piece of Ghirardelli chocolate. Now, I wanted to match my designer series paper, so we have gold chocolate, gold paper, and that fits just right on the inside here. Now, you could probably fit 2 in here, but 1 is plenty. And we're gonna take gold ribbon. This comes in a gold and silver pack. So it's really tiny, 1/8 of an inch, but we're gonna thread the ribbon through here, and then I'm gonna bring it around so it lays flat, and then I'm gonna cut it so it is this same length as this piece here. All right, there we go. Traveling to Denver to see my family and granddaughter's in-laws coming in from Texas. Oh, nice. It's gonna be cold in Denver, but Kathy, that friend that came with me, she lives in Denver, so she lives there. I'll get to see her next month though for our birthday. Okay, I'm just tying this into a little bow on the side, and you may have to kind of work with it depending on how you did it. But there is our second little project, a fun little chocolate box for Stuff Your Stocking. You could put money in this. A gift card obviously won't fit. It's kind of tailored to that Ghirardelli chocolate size, but they have so many different varieties of Ghirardelli chocolate that you could kind of customize the box depending on the chocolate type. Like if they, I think I saw little Santas that they had, or little penguins, so you could do this in the penguin paper. But that is our second project for Stuff Your Stocking this week. I hope you guys liked that one. I really liked that. It was fun to create this little box, and you could put some really fun goodies in there too. Okay, our last project is this one right here. This is a chapstick holder. Now I have so much chapstick, but I thought this was a fun little gift you could give to somebody that, you know, a neighbor or somebody, just a little something extra. But here is what the inside looks like. If I can get this ribbon open. It's like a little mini book. And you could put a gift card in there as well. So you could have an all-in-one kind of project for this design as well. So for this one, you need a piece of cardstock. Let me get all my pieces out here. And I made a little template for this one too. So you need a piece of cardstock that is 3.5 by 5.5. And we're gonna score it at 2 3/8 and 3 1/8 on the long end. So we have our scoreboard here, and we're gonna score it at, on the long side, 2 3/8 and 3 1/8. So this will be our outside little book. Now you also need a little piece for right on the inside here. This one is 1 3 inches, 1 by 3, and you're gonna score at 3 1/4 and 2 1/4. Or sorry, 3/4 and 2 1/4. So we're gonna score at 3/4 on this one, and then 2 1/4 there. And we're done with our scoreboard then. So we're gonna use our bone folder here to crisp up our lines. I always like to use a bone folder when I'm scoring because it really helps really crease and crisp them up to be a really nice hard line that you've got there. Okay, so there's our template and then our little piece there as well. Now this little piece you're gonna fold in and in. So both of the little tabs are gonna fold on the side here. Will 2 Ghirardellis fit in the box? Let's see, I think they will. Let me untie this one. I think they will, but let's see. Yes, 2 fit inside. 2 of them fit perfectly. And if you only need to make one box, they have a bag at Walgreens that has 2 Ghirardellis in it, and that's it. And that's what I bought. One little bag of Ghirardellis with 2 pieces of candy in it. Okay, for the outside of the box, well, this little booklet, you need some designer series paper. Now, these are all the same size. I just chose 2 different styles of designer series paper. They're both 2 1/8 by 3 1/4. And the stripes are gonna go on the outside and the candy canes on the inside. Now, I chose candy canes because my chapstick is peppermint flavored. So you can tailor these however you want to coordinate with what you're creating. So we're gonna add the outside of our paper first. And I like to use the liquid glue because I need to make sure it's all lined up how I want it. And I'm just gonna open this up so it lays flat. It's a little easier to assemble when it's flat. And the second piece here, and that'll go there. Now we also need a piece to cover up that section there. This is 1/2 inch by 3 1/4. So we're gonna add that here. There you go. Like I said, you can mix and match your designer series paper. They can all be the same, whatever you want to do. Now on the inside, before we add in these 2 pieces, we're going to add this. Now I like to take the paper. Now see the tabs here. The tabs are going to glue down with them folding in. But this paper is flat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of wrap it around my chapstick to kind of smooth it in that round look so that when I glue it down to my paper, it already has that little pocket there. So this crease is gonna line up with that crease. We're gonna add glue here, and you may have to kind of pinch them together. And that's gonna go right there. Let me lift it up just a second, make sure it's all straight. Got it a little crooked. With liquid glue, you have a few seconds to kind of reposition it, but you can already hear it's tearing the paper a little bit, so you've got to be quick with it. There you go. There you go. So that will then fit right in there. We're going to add our 2 pieces of designer series paper. This is going to reinforce now that little bridge of cardstock that we did. So we're going to cover that up right there. And you could, this little bit where you put the chapstick, you could add that as a different color cardstock if you want. So you could do that. So that would go in there, and this will go, let's put that this way. It's better this way. There we go. Okay, and you know what? I glued these down on the front before I forgot I needed to add my ribbon. So we're gonna do it a little different. Normally you would add your ribbon first and then glue down your cardstock or your DSP, but we're gonna add the, excuse me. Ooh, hopefully that helps. Whew. We're gonna add our ribbon after. So, ribbon, you want about, think about 15 inches of ribbon, but you may need to adjust based on your project. Woo, sorry. Whew. So your ribbon, I'm gonna put down with tear and tape. So normally the ribbon is, because this is mesh ribbon, you definitely don't want to use liquid glue because it'll come right out of the ribbon. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add my tear and tape there. I'm gonna put half of the ribbon down first. I'm gonna fold the ribbon in half here. Fold it there. And that right there is my back. But I should probably take this adhesive piece off first. There we go. So that's gonna go right there. Now you can add on the other piece of tear and tape and just lay that other half of the ribbon over, and then when you go to tie it, your ribbon's even on both sides. And you can kind of lift it up and straighten the ribbon out however you need to. All right, to decorate it, I am using, this is the Reindeer Day sticker sheet. I used this on a project last week, or 2 weeks ago, when we did our Christmas tags. I used this little holly berry design here, but we're gonna use this little Christmas tree for the front, and this is gonna go on with dimensionals. Even though they're sticky on the back, you can still add dimensionals and pop it up a little bit. Right, and that'll go right here. And then these have little fun sentiments with it as well. So we're gonna do the ho ho ho. And we're gonna add this on just right there. For some sparkle, we're gonna match our ribbon, and I'm gonna use the Druzy embellishments. I've used these a couple times. And we're gonna use the small silver embellishments. And we're gonna put 2 here and 1 right there. We can add in our peppermint chapstick. And then again, you can add in a gift card if you want. If you do a gift card, just place this in here with mini glue dots, and I wouldn't add any designer series paper on the side, just because it's just probably gonna rip the paper when you peel it off. So you could add a gift card, and then on this side add a little sentiment, so it'll close just like that. We're gonna take that out of there though. And you can tie up the side here. And you have a fun little chapstick holder as well. Oh, let's tie that better than that. Here we go. And it's a fun, cute little booklet style chapstick holder. So I know you've probably seen the little chapstick holders that are long and then the chapstick goes in it, but I thought this was just a different style of one. And you could decorate the outside in so many different ways and designs, and use up scraps of designer series paper as well for that one. All right, I'm gonna bring in all 3 projects that we created here today. Let me know in the comments which one is your favorite. So we have our little reindeer chocolate box, we have our chapstick holder, and then where's that last one that we created, or the first one, our little chocolate treat bag. So let me know which one is your favorite that we worked on here today. All right, well, thank you everybody for joining me for my 8th annual Stuff Your Stocking Facebook Live, and my last Facebook Live of 2024. I just want to say I hope you and your family have an amazing holiday season, and I cannot thank you enough for supporting me over the past year. I look forward to coming back to you in 2025 with a ton of projects, with the new mini catalog, celebration, and so much more. I hope you all have an amazing week, an amazing weekend, holiday season, New Year's, and I will see you in